Hi everyone. I get loads of clips sent in all the time, as you probably know, and I've had this clip on my computer for months and I didn't realise how good it was. Well, how bad it was. And I think it's about that time where I'm about to lose a subscriber. I'm not really too fussed because the net gain on these videos is usually pretty good. But most importantly, there's always an educational message with these type of clips. This one's going to show you how not to do it. The video's centred around my viewer and this van that's approaching from behind, who's obviously now way too close. My viewer's more than well within the right to stay in this lane too, as the catching vehicle's in lane 1. But what about after this grey Vauxhall? There's a big space between that and the van. They should move back in, but now they're doing 70 miles an hour, which is simply being used to restrict the vehicle behind from overtaking. Now they're doing 75. If they'd have just stayed at the speed limit, moved back to the left, this video would not be happening. I'm not excusing the vehicle behind driving way too close, but this incident has all been started by my viewer not doing the correct things. With some reluctance, I think, my viewer moves back to the left. But just quickly watch all the dashcam information at the bottom of the screen. It disappears. I'll go back to that in a minute, but do you think there was any gesturing by my viewer that caused this brake check? Now the speed slowed significantly, and that's the reason why I think my viewer has cropped the main footage, because it hides the speed. But they forgot to crop the rear footage where we can still see it. And don't forget, all this has happened because my viewer didn't want to be overtaken. They got up to 82 miles per hour in that section, and this is still a 60 limit. Now we're approaching a roundabout and the fast section of road has finished, we get a different crop. The speed's back on, but the images have been switched, to put the emphasis on the van that's still tailgating behind. Nice effort, but you haven't fooled me. Again, there's no excuse for the van driver's poor behaviour, but if my viewer had done the correct things at the start, this wouldn't be happening. Now, in their relentless quest to stay in front of the van, my viewer now has got in the wrong lane and they need to move back to the left. And I think they do this in a way to defend themselves. The space is only big enough for my viewer to fit in. But the van driver behind barges in anyway. My viewer's now being followed.
Oh, this guy's hilarious.
I think my viewer's now realising the mess that he's got himself into. This next section, the vehicle behind continues to tailgate and they're quite aggressive with how they go about doing things. But the traffic's been able to keep flowing. That is until my viewer comes up to a set of lights. The guy that gets out knocks on my viewer's side window, but I think my viewer ignores them. But then we hear those famous words used after a bout of antagonism.
You're on camera, mate.
Situations like this can and do get out of hand quite quickly. Now cast your mind back to how this started. It's quite pathetic, really.